today on another episode of Potheads Pondering, we are speaking with Ash Christina and Christina about cannabis use and chronic pain management. Of course, y'all know D'Anthony. He's here as a brand ambassador and avid cannabis user. Let's just get into the conversation. So, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name is Christina Corson. I grew up in Phoenix, Arizona, so a little bit different environment than the Pacific Northwest, but I have been here for 10 years. I tried to move back there, and it wasn't for me, plus the weed is so much better up here, so, yeah, definitely.
Okay.
My name is Ash Christina. I grew up in Arizona. I grew up in town.
Okay.
Yeah, baby. I was actually a nurse, and then I got diagnosed with a condition called Potheads syndrome, which is the most dangerous disease in the world. And I moved up to the Pacific Northwest. But we basically, I was like, yeah, this shit works for pain. Yeah, baby.
Yeah. Okay. Nice. And like honest, you know what I mean? Like you get here and you think you're coming for something else. Like I'm starting my new life, and at the end, if I sit down and think about it, I moved to Washington for weed, straight up.
Right.
Like, it was gonna be my other life, but the whole time I was choosing it to treat my chronic pain caused by my A.T.B.C. curve spine. So I really appreciate you being here. Pronouns?
She, her.
And she,
She, her.
Or is there anything you want to call me just to connect?
Okay.
He here.
Get it right. Okay. So what do you think makes you a pothead?
Probably that people have put that label on me because I like to consume it for daily purposes at some points in my life, depending on what pain levels I'm dealing with or flare-ups from my disease that I have. And also probably because I like to speak kindly of it, and people might put that label, but I'm not a lazy, typical whatever society wants to put on it. I'm that functional person, just like I think 98% of the rest of the people are. And so I'm a functional pothead. That's why I was attracted to your podcast and your stuff that you already work on.
You know, tune in if you haven't heard the Functional Podcast out there. But Ash?
yeah, I came across you through these shares. I was on my Instagram and I saw these shares sharing a post from you, and I was like, I wonder what that's all about, because it said functional podcast and had the Bakersmen Collective. So I was like, okay, I need to check that out, right? So and then I was like, so I went to the page and I was like, oh wow, she's on a podcast, and this is something that I'm really into, because I want to push it in the medical field, because as a nurse, I was on the other side. I was like, no, weed is, I'm against weed, this is not cool, I don't believe in it, blah, 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 until I got sick. And I was like, whoa, okay, I get it now. Now I want to try to spread it a little bit more and get more people to be like,
Yeah.
Yes.
You can say
Yeah,
whatever you
this is
want to say.
a 21 plus show. Listen.
We're all grown here.
We're very grown, so.
Experience.
Well then,
it's like,
right. What's your cannabis origin story then? Like,
I can tell you the day I started. It was September 27th, 1997. I remember the park I was in. I remember getting really nervous and paranoid just with every car that went around. And I just remember it making me feel alive, and like I had been just stepped into my skin for the first time. I think that's because I have a connective tissue disorder, and so it just gave immediately relief to my body. I've not actually been able to fully sustain from it my whole entire life. I take certain breaks here and there depending on what I'm going through, but typically I have to hold on to it as a daily medicine, and I realized that at 14 years old.
facts.
Wow.
Me as well.
Yeah, so if I'm sick or something, I definitely back down from the smoking. I quit cigarettes successfully cold turkey after 22 years,
Same here.
3 years ago.
Come on. Congratulations.
Thank you. So, I think that I do think that it's good to consider it as a medicine in general. Alternative, complete.
Everything. And any disease, I can say weed will help with that. Anxiety, weed. Stomach issue, weed. Sleep issue, weed. Pain, weed.
And Ash, tell me your origin story. Where did it start?
Okay. Oh yeah. So because I was diagnosed with COPS and I was trying medication after medication. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? This is not how I'm envisioning my life going. Like, and I have this weird dream where I metabolize drugs really fast. So I always end up masking out and then have to go through the detox part of any medication. I mean, every single medication has a detox process. You can't just cold turkey antidepressant or anything, basically. So I was like, I can't live my life like that. My children's father. He was like, well, I have a blood machine. I was living in Oregon at the time. And he's like, well, I can ask him when he's done. I'm like, yeah, please, I'm desperate for some weed. He got sativa upload and intercom for myself because we wasn't really sure what would work. I tried both of them. I'm like, holy fuck, what the fuck? Where has this been on? Why are you not talking about this? Why are they making it seem like it's drugs up in the museum house and make you. No, I was really frustrated because it makes you hungry and shit like it.
Right.
Yeah.
This is kind of the anti-commercial of like Dare, where the girl's like melted on the couch.
Yeah.
No, we're on the couch, we ain't melted. This is high level conversation here. It changed your whole life, you know? You have to max out on pharmaceuticals and still not achieve what you're getting by smoking a plant that just grows like that.
Exactly. And it's not man-made. God, the universe, the creator, whatever, put it on my head, so I'm talking
For a reason. It's
not take advantage of it. Hello?
I actually did a recent experiment where I didn't consume for, I think it was 25 total days.
Probably because I made 5.
I know. And I wasn't sleeping. I noticed my sleep pattern had just completely become broken. I was waking up 2-3 times a night, and I finally tried to consume again just 5 days ago, and I have been able to successfully sleep from the time I lay my head down to the time it's time to get up before my alarm goes off.
Oh, you better preach, okay? I notice it. If I go a few days without weed, I'm up at night a little bit more than I normally would be. And that's the only thing I can attribute it to. But then, if you look at the withdrawal like effects, right? Because if we're talking about, if we're keeping it 100% honest, weed, discontinuing weed, you experience withdrawal, all of the symptoms. And so I was attributing my lack of sleep to that, as opposed to the fact that weed's probably regulating my sleep,
Right.
And I'm making sure that I'm getting into the REM cycle. It's wild that you have to do this experimentation on your own self, because
There's no doctor that I can go and ask to give me medical advice around it that I can trust.
Right.
Yeah, dude. I don't like how the medical field thinks that one size fits all.
right.
And it's like, no. Like, everybody is completely different how they react to it. It's like, it's amazing to see how many of my friends are so different. It's like, yeah, you guys can't be just classifying one size fits all. Like, no.
Yeah, because when they say that people who smoke get lazy, then what's your definition of lazy? We all smoke, we all do different things every day. You know what I mean? We all don't do the same. If we all got lazy, we all would have made it today.
Yeah.
I mean, facts. Sober friends. Definitely. And I've been in the medical field for 3.5 years, and I got reprimanded constantly for talking with the patients too long, connecting with someone too long, because it's built on a system of time.
What?
That's how you build insurance for. So it was definitely an eye-opener that it's not the industry that I wanted to be in or support, and that was 10 years ago I left off.
Veterinary medicine, what's up? I'm around like 3 years now. Same thing, like caring for the people. is not it. It's not it. Like it is the end goal of the staff, but not of the business. The business's end goal is to make money. So I need you to see these patients so that I can file these claims and get paid.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's what it is. And it's scary when that established industry starts hard-eyeing cannabis.
I have a lot of friends and a lot of family members that are doctors and everything, and they're saying that the medical system is practically falling down.
Yeah.
Because of the whole COVID, the whole pandemic, it just like completely wiped out like half of the medical staff, like giving lung COVID and all of that. And I can tell you that all of these people, almost like 95% of these people that I talk to are loud medical marijuana smokers. After long COVID.
Right. Because what else is there to do at this point? My body, I'm incapacitated. I can't actually do my career.
Yes.
I'm gonna go smoke some weed.
Yeah.
All right? And you're not gonna talk to me about
And we
it.
can't leave the house
I'm
and
gonna
go
live in a
anywhere.
state where I can grow it legally.
Right.
So, and you know what? I'm happier about my day at this point in time. So now the choices that I make are filled with that happiness, and my life starts to improve. Why would I ever go back? What's your favorite way to consume weed?
Oh, well, I'm sorry. With my condition being working, so I would have to consume between 1,000 to like 5,000 milligrams of edibles a day.
Ooh.
That's how I could maintain my pain level. That's how I was able to survive when I was a single mom to 2 kids when they were 3 and 2. So I was playing, woo! Not planned at all, okay. It was fun.
Okay.
We did
Real respect.
So I mean, I was consuming all the anxiety, smoking, whatever, but I was able to stay off medication, be a single mom with 2 toddlers, living in the middle of bumfuck and driving them to all of this extra activities that you do with your kids 6 days a week. And that thing, that really saved my life. That shit saved my life. And I can't get up in the morning. First, I have to go smoke because that's the only way I can get my body to move and not use that shit. I'm gonna put weed at my house. I would be a doctor, but I'm not going to work as a doctor because they're gonna be like, you can't smoke weed. I'm gonna fuck that. But I can just buy a medical card. I would get them.
You know? Okay.
Right, why not? Like a naturopath, doctor of naturopathic medicine.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a route. It's weird how those two industries like don't look favorably upon each other because at one point in time in human history it was the same person. Your shaman was your medical doctor, you know what I mean? The medical industry does not embrace plant medicine as one.
What's your
For
favorite
me, today, I like to consume as little as possible to get me stoned as possible. So like hash rosin, you know?
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's like, if I had a preference,
Okay.
that would be it, but I do like love to consume with people, so I love to consume, joints because then they're always connected through the whole smoke. But I do remember a time in my life where I had to stand on a couch and have a friend help me out with some flitters,
Yeah.
so.
However it is.
Yeah.
What about you?
Joints. I've consumed it in every fashion and however I need to at this moment in time to deal with these symptoms. That's my favorite way. But in a rice paper.
For me, was
Yeah.
Fronto Fonte. You already know. That's just my preference. I just got one just everything. It tastes right. It feels right. I gotta fight the weed.
I do have a question. Don't you guys feel like you don't get a little more stoned when you're using a water bottle?
More stoned than
Then
smoking joints.
yeah.
I just think I get high faster. Like you're at the end of the day, like you can only get so high before your receptors
Yeah.
are like, I'm cool.
Right.
Yeah.
Like that's the science of weed.
Yeah.
So like joint, dab, whatever, like you're there. It's just how quickly am I gonna get there? Water bomb is way faster. I've got to smoke half of that before I actually start feeling the effects of the high. You know what I mean? Like it's not that you taste it, you might feel a slight change, but the actual true high. Whereas that, like, you know, so a bomb rip before you leave for work. You know, everyone knows that. Like the early morning shift, you take that rip and then you gotta hit the road. And now you're high the entire time. And by the time you make it to work, you're in the sweet spot of like being functional with your high. You can do whatever you gotta do.
I have to smoke like 4 or 5 bowls before I can even become functional.
That's real.
Well,
Yeah, it's stuck in the past, but I'm okay with that. But yeah, because they don't like, we don't have a weed dispensary in our town. They won't allow it because they want to keep it clean. And so, we have to go on the KP until I do the dispensary. But it's like, come the fuck on.
How far would you
I know half of the town goes to that shop because
Don't pay. This is, you know, the best part about this is as a bud tender, I know exactly what you were talking about. Because down in Edmonds, there are the people that would like take their bag and like tuck it, or they're putting it in their trunk so nobody can see that they're buying. You know what I mean? I'm like, bro, don't you see everybody in Edmonds is buying weed? The same people, they're here too. They're just on a different shift as you, okay? Yeah. Exactly. So, would you ever quit cannabis for something prescribed?
fuck no.
Would you incorporate them, use them together?
But I incorporated that.
Like using pharmaceuticals at the same time?
Well,
You know, there are some people that have to.
Well, yeah, if I had surgery, I would take my painkillers with me. But
I tried.
but you got.
No, I don't do well on opiates.
that's
Yeah,
bad.
no. So I had night terrors and I was not nice. So I transitioned pretty quickly from using those drugs in like 6 days, or from those drugs to just deal with my pain the entire time. That's how I know weed is doing good.
You use it in different forms.
Yeah, so at that time, before I had a bilateral breast reduction, background story. There is a Potheads Pondering episode about that, so you can do some background. But what was I saying? Oh, the pain control. I stocked up on edibles. I stocked up on flour, CBD flour, just all different types of things, and not tinctures, but topicals and patches. So I did those, and that's when I learned topicals do work, but they're like very place dependent. Patches are, I can't really tell based off of the slow absorption rate, and like it might just be dealing with general discomfort. But edibles and RSO based edibles were the key. That and like a blend between CBD flower and THC flower overall. Those are my winners.
You mix them together.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes a little bit of tobacco, sometimes a little bit of newspaper. Because the hardest part with the breast reduction is like actually breathing. I have to use an apparatus to expand my lungs because it's so painful. People don't want to take a deep breath, right? So then you're just taking shallow breaths and your body's not getting enough appropriate lung oxygen. So we just getting back to smoking, like that was a commitment, but it was necessary, and I'm grateful for it.
Okay, you pull it up. Okay.
Yeah.
So you push it back down? Okay, you just.
So it's almost like physical therapy in a way because it forces you to well, I'm gonna get a payback out of this. I'm gonna get something out of it.
Oh, for sure.
And then you didn't have to take the prescribed medication, which is incredible.
Yeah, I was like, I'm done with you.
Yeah.
I want sleep.
Goodbye.
I'm over it.
I want man-made.
Right.
I don't want man-made. I want like nature-made.
Right. That's natural.
Exactly.
Yeah, we did so. It's one of the best creations we have out here. That's fruit.
So I remember
Facts.
being younger and praying for weed to get legalized, and I remember the day it did in 2015 in Oregon, and it was just so exciting. So I was there on the day one, waited in line and all.
Okay. The experience I got here in 2016, so they had already gone from medical to recreational point here in Washington for adult use. And I was just lost. Days and cookies. I'm from Florida where you just buy it from the homie, the plug, you know? Like, I'm gonna get it where I get it. So, I get here and now I'm like, okay, all these choices. And you're saying words that I mostly understand, but I did not know there's a lot of people in here.
There's a lot going on.
Yeah, like slow down. And then I started asking questions. Because not enough people look like me. Because I asked enough questions, I had enough to talk about, I started a podcast. And now I'm still talking to this day.
That's awesome.
That's how we're here. So, incredible. What do you hope is gained by sharing your story about cannabis use?
Well, I hope that people know that they can use it as a medication. I have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, and I am undiagnosed by a medical doctor, but my sister, my direct blood, is diagnosed, and when she just started describing to me the symptoms, I just always took it as normal. I had hyperextensive joints, and I had joint pain, and I could dislocate certain parts of my body and relocate them on my own very quickly, jolts. And I just wrote it off as normal. It's been that way since I was a kid. So after talking with my sister, I found out that I might have it. And I've recently established care again through the healthcare system. So I'm hoping to maybe have that journey with my doctor. And I've known about it for about 6 years. So it does take people time to open up to a disorder like that, because you have to have sometimes multiple doctors involved because they aren't knowledgeable on the criteria of what to follow, so then they have to send you to a bunch of specialists. But the thing that you can get out of it is physical therapy assistance, which might be nice because someone like myself can't just go exercise how I want because I could hurt myself. Right. So they could provide a safe environment for that. Might be an option for me. Okay. Which means I'll smoke more weed because I'll be working my joints more.
Yeah.
So. Working your joints, smoking joints.
Right.
Exactly.
At that point, also just incorporating more topicals, right? And like baths. That's my favorite. Bath bombs. THC bath bombs. Just that. Just hot water, Epsom salt, a little bit of THC, just soak the pores. Yeah. Right. Yourself?
Yeah, wow. Because I was in medical field, I was in medicine, I was very anti-drug until I got shit off because I became scared. But 50 is the max. CRPS is at 46. And if I can be off of all medication and only take weed, then everybody else can.
Right.
I know. So, I mean, the amputation at the digit was about 39, kidney stones was about 42.
Right.
Unprepared childbirth is 36. So like phantom limb pain is at 25. Why not take stuff it out, alright? So I'm gonna share my story that I understand why you guys are thinking this, all of these things, but I will tell you this, and I'm hoping to get enough people to share their voices so we can make changes.
Right.
And your story will be good. You're coming from a person, you were on the other side before, and then you had something happen where you experienced marijuana, and then you have a whole different opinion. So that might help other people too who are on the other side too, if you were once there.
Yes, and I also got one of my friends who is an MIT doctor. She's got her MD and her PhD in immunology and radiology and oncology. She was anti-weed until I was like, hey, no, I understand why, but on the West Coast, she is in the East Coast in New Jersey. Yeah. She knows she's like, you sure? But she was blown away about how I was on nothing but weed. She's like, how? Because I'm on all of this, and you are so functional. How? I said, weed. So I got her on to weed, so I'm hoping that she will be able to speak up about it, because she is pretty famous if you look her up on the news. Hey, that's not what I did, the weed out there.
Yeah.
And I think the other side of that is that you have to be able to speak someone's language. You have to find a way to communicate with them. Like, so I've always added an educational approach to talking about cannabis because that's where my mind is. It's pretty scientific. That's why I started with the veterinary industry before I moved here, right? And so in this dynamic, you could communicate your pain. You already knew how to assess it and speak the language to these other people. They can believe you, right? And outside of your testimony, I find it easier to communicate with more communities when you speak their language.
Yes. That's exactly right. I have like a whole list of people's names off of my head that I got them on medical marijuana. I was like, can I get your voice? Yeah, because that way I can show the world what
the data.
Right.
Yeah.
Essentially, which is what we have to prove.
And
which is sad, but it's true.
Yeah, but they hear
But it speaks truth. Yeah, that speaks truth.
But there are more and more studies happening now. Now that Biden did that, lessen a little bit of legislation up. You know what I mean?
But I should go to the way you say it does. I want to push that a little bit harder too. Because ketamine infusion is the #1 treatment for people with CLD. I'm asked that, I'm done, my body says no more, so I can't. But I was reading studies saying that ketamine and magic mushrooms was similar, same with LSD. And I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I was like, I'm still in the medical side. I was like, I don't get that. I mean, until I tried it. And I was like, oh, now I see it does work, but it's natural. My body's not going slow.
Right. And I think that's the most hurtful part about this is that this research is like from the 60s. Right. Like LSD was designed to help with like psychological issues. Like that's how it was created. So that the fact that people with psychological issues at this point in time are now finding it to be a solution, like we're more retarded. But we're there now. You know, it pisses me off a little bit. And that's simply because of what the mainstream media did to the consumption of these substances.
Well, and even for people who consume the mushrooms, sometimes they only need a microdose, so they don't even know that it's any change in their daily function. It's just really a relaxation or grounding within the body. And if you did consume a large amount, most people can clear a lot of PTSD trauma in like 1 to 3 therapy sessions, basically. And that's why I'm proud of where we have come in the Northwest as far as what this church,
See your areas.
And I was looking at earlier too. I was looking at them too.
It's natural. It's like, and it probably can cure so many other diseases that we haven't even advanced in because it's so much more advanced than we are.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I believe that it's the cure to every disease.
I mean,
that's why I want to do a study. I'm going to do a study where I get a bunch of people and test them and make sure they follow a protocol so I can bring it to the board, the medical board review, so they can review and be like, hey, is this publishable?
Yeah.
So, because
I feel like we have to start with like finding guidelines. That's really an idea. Like human study and trials, man. Like I'm ready for it, but I think they opened up the amount of labs that are out there that can engage in the research of it, right? Because there's only one university growing cannabis for research. It's not good.
No Dr. Green Thumb.
No, it's not good weed. Who wants to smoke that? Like, because that's definitely not what I'm smoking. When I'm talking about weed for my pain.
Is that all we go for? Like what?
Yeah, that ain't it. Well, what's next? Where can they find you?
Well, they can find us on our comic website if you want to.
Oh, whose pain is it anyway?
Yeah, on Whose Pain Is It Anyway on Instagram. And my boyfriend, he had a recent TBI in the last couple of years, and he blows glass, so you can find him on Donkey John Glass on Instagram too.
We love turtles over here. Right. Of course, CFPM. Goes.
TSB_goes on Instagram, you already know.
Right.
And
And
you can follow music on all streaming platforms too.
right. And we're the Bakersmen Collective.
Yeah.
So stay big.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.